Now, my very first guest tonight is a true legend of British comedy. A lot of people in comedy are not funny when they're not being funny, but she is always funny. I know because I've spent a great deal of time with her. She is, of course, Helen Lederer. She's known for her roles in classic comedy shows like Bottom and her iconic role as Catriona in Absolutely Fabulous. She's graced the small screen on much-loved soaps and is soon going to be on BBC Two in Pilgrimage, where 7 celebrities tackle a modern-day pilgrimage, trekking through the Austrian and Swiss Alps. Her memoir, Not That I'm Bitter, was published a year ago to huge acclaim, and I'm really pleased has now been updated with new chapters and it's out in paperback. And I am so pleased to say Helen Lederer joins me on Late Night Show. Hello.
Oh, I'm so excited. But how are you? This is like a Saturday night. You're sounding very reverend. Not like a vicar, but very, full of grace and seriousness.
Do I sound full of grace?
Tonight.
I honestly, this is crazy. So Helen and I know each other really well. We've spent a lot of time together, but we have not seen each other for nearly 2 years. Do you realise? Well, because...
What are you wearing, Jo?
I'm wearing very cash, actually. It's quite cash. It's a Breton shirt and jeans.
Oh, no, but then you would look good in that. Some people would not look as good as you, but that's a purposeful casual look.
I honestly, I said in my introduction, I've interviewed a lot of comedians, and you know a lot of comedians, and they're quite dour. When you away from the stage, away from the cameras, they're quite dour. You are absolutely as good off as you are on. You are sorry, this is awful to sit and analyse your talent, but you are extremely amusing. And I've shared dressing rooms with you. I mean, I've shared a lot of time with you. Your book. Let's kick off with your book first of all, because,
yes.
And I said this, it's a great title. It's a fabulous title. Not That I'm Bitter.
But it takes one to know one, though, because some people I've noticed have been talking about. I've suddenly got my confidence, Jo.
Good, because you were lacking it. I used to have to push you out. I used to push you out.
I know, but just going around waving the "Not That I'm Bitter," and then honestly, finally, this is why I should have done a radio show like you. It's just whether the room is a small group of, on occasion, 20 people or more, you just go, I'm doing this now because I'm this age, and people have chosen to come see me, and we just have fun and really honest. And I love the Q&As. I particularly like the Q&As at the end. But so we have shared a dressing room. I think I probably drink. You're not a great drinker. I still go on stage with a glass of white wine. It's a nice feeling.
I think when we were doing it, you were buying everyone wine. I mean, truly, she would buy everyone a drink before we even started. But
I'm a people pleaser.
You are a people pleaser, but also you do please people. And it's so interesting because I've been watching. I mean, I haven't seen you, but I've been watching everything you do, and your confidence has grown so much, because I seriously, everybody listening, would have to push her out of the dressing room to get out there on stage.
What is that? And we were grown-ups even then. We were over 45.
Yes.
And obviously starting as a stand-up, and you in Crossroads, as I'm a fan, as you know. I mean, we were young people, and the nerves and everything, But now... obviously, I'm a bit nervous speaking to you after 2 years, but it is exciting to be able to go out and go, worst has already happened.
Yes.
We're going to have fun.
Yes.
And say if the interviewer is shy or whatever they are, you just go, we're going to make this evening rock. And then I say these things like, the press isn't in, are they, in a conspiratorial way? I've had a cocktail earlier, I had to go out, I came back especially for you. And then you can say not mean things, because Jo, you and I are not mean people.
No.
But you can go personal, and people deserve that.
They do.
And I think all my life has sort of been protecting the anecdotes and
anymore. Don't protect. And the other thing is what I love, I mean, and your book isn't bitter, it's hysterical, it's very funny, but it's a moment in time, and I'm really interested talking about this because it was a time where you very seldom get female stand-ups. You lot were trailblazers. You literally were they're everywhere now. You know, comedians are literally, they're on every panel. They're everywhere. And so they should be. But you were trailblazers. And there you were. I mean, and you write about this in the book, in Edinburgh or wherever, wedged between all these literally wedged between.
I do like a wedge. I mean, I'm not against it either.
And we won't talk about that chapter. You need to read that, everybody. But there she is, wedged with in a male-dominated area, which it was, wasn't it? Really, when you cut your teeth on it.
It was, and I think that, and it wasn't, and there wasn't any sort of malice. You know, people were elbowing you out, but that overtly. But I think that what I inherited, as a lot of people of my generation, is not people pleasing, but just knowing that if you weren't the chosen one in the elite, then it's a difficult thing to shed. And I just think now there's a leveler at being over 60, and you just go, it's pointless being too reverent, because how as I say, just let's not be reverent, doing my thing in my lane. And then with the new chapters, because of course the paperback, I belted out the behind the scenes story of, you've got to watch it, Joe, of being on the pilgrimage. And
my God, I can't. I watched the last one. Did you see the last one? Do you know, sorry, I shouldn't even go off on this, but I know Stephen Amos slightly because I've interviewed him a few times. When I watched it, sorry, I don't want to bring the mood down. My mum was dying at the time, so I was watching it in her care home where people were suffering dementia. It was so moving. And I text Stephen Amos and went, I've got tears rolling down my face. This bit, and he said, Joe, it never turned out the way I thought. He was quite...
that was a big one. Did he get to meet the Pope, didn't he?
He got to meet the Pope, and his body language. No, but it doesn't matter whether you meet the Pope or not. It's what happens to you as a group.
Yeah, that was a very... moving. You get 7 people who don't know each other.
Yes.
And let's see what happens in those 2 weeks. What I learned when I came back was the people. I mean, I fell in love with Jay and Harry, so I got 2 boyfriends of sincere, genuine. But Jay from Wanted, so you must speak to him, please.
Yes.
So but that was because we laughed. So you know how important laughter is, and you can't fake it, when you look at someone and you just laugh. But I found a weird thing of those people that you don't connect with, and which we can't all, no group can connect equally with 6 others. I kind of feel more tolerant. I've got tolerance now, because under respect for those other people on their journeys. It sounds a bit pious.
No, but do you think that comes with age? Does it come with age, that, do you think? Because I sum people up very quickly, and often I draw the wrong conclusions very early on. Yeah.
Do you find yourself talking to, sometimes by mistake I might have a thought and then I say it? That comes
all the time.
Old age.
Yes.
Slightly grumpy things come out of my mouth.
Yes.
And just like when you see people talking to themselves when they're driving, you
all the time. But do you go back to the pilgrimage, for people that don't know the programme? It is 7 of you, I think 7 of you, isn't it? You do this amazing journey, which my producer Carla was looking at before she even knew you were doing this route, which is
uphill.
You go uphill, and it's through the Austrian and the Swiss Alps. Am I right?
Yeah, it's and it is uphill. And the thing is, when you see a very high hill facing you, what was interesting is you just go, right, I'll be doing that then, which is quite nice. You just, because you can't not do it. And not that I'm competitive or bitter, but I wasn't last, and although I was the oldest person, and I just kind of worked out how to go upwards. Like, you just grunt, and you just do whatever you have to do to get to the top. Or,
is there a religious, because you're not, I've never thought of you as being a particularly religious person.
No.
Is there a sort of religious context for you in this?
Yeah, no, because you are obviously required, and you would welcome talking about faith. So it is about, people are asking really big, important questions. And I think that's why viewers engage with it, because there is no shying away. It's like, I know that we laugh and I personally am a hysteric. But I do believe in God or the word of, a person, a being. And that's quite a big thing to say or believe. And so these things were coming out in different ways with each other. So yeah, it's not like a party pooper. It's like we are required to ask ourselves questions. And also drink a lot of wine in the evenings.
Do you,
that was rough.
because and this is a really bad comparison, but you did Big Brother, didn't you?
God, it's a really good comparison because that was so lonely.
Well, this is what I was going to say, because I envy you. I mean, I love Big Brother. I'm sorry, I love watching,
love it.
but I love watching people under glass, having their liberty removed. I love that.
Yes.
And this was,
Good in prison.
Yes. So
Jailer.
Did you, I mean, I don't know, I've never asked you this actually. Did you discover anything about yourself in Big Brother? And did you discover anything about yourself on pilgrimage?
I discovered more about myself on the pilgrimage. I think Big Brother was 10 years ago. I felt like I didn't think about it. It was about just, it was very, because it had to be manipulative for the purpose, because everyone kept saying it's a game as a way to sort of justify kind of humiliation and things. This program, you got irritated, and then you felt extreme love and irritation, all in like 1 hour. It was intense, but it was that we were just all engaging on a purpose. With the Big Brother, obviously a lot of money. Good luck to. I did it. I remember my daughter saying, "You looked almost normal, Mum," which was a surprise to her. But I think I didn't like myself in there. I became very small just to survive.
Yeah.
Wasn't myself. Whereas on the pilgrimage, people want to find out who you are. There's a kind of generosity of spirit because we could afford that. But in Big Brother, you've just got to. You've just got to get through it, but It is a lot of self-consciousness.
Wow.
Am I rambling? Am I talking too much? Please buy my paperback because there's 2 new chapters. It's quite. Have you written your memoir yet, Jo?
No, but I don't write like you. I mean, you've worked. You write beautifully. You write beautifully. You've worked. You've written works of fiction which are fabulous.
I want to make people laugh when they're reading it. But in the second chapter, the new chapter, it is about Tony Slattery, my friend who died just a few weeks ago, and I talk about the funeral, but to make it funny. And I think you can get grief and humour and drinking 2 bottles of white wine on an empty stomach at the funeral. It's good to talk about those things, would you say?
It is good to talk about those things. It's also, but I've always loved you talking about your childhood. Because we were a child of the 50s, and it was like we were brought up so differently. I've just revisited Mad Men. Have you watched Mad Men? You know when January Jones brings up those 2 kids and she just sits at the table smoking and they're eating and she goes bed and they go to bed. I mean, that's how we were brought up.
Yes. And did you write? We wrote thank you letters.
Thank you letters, and you had to get on with your parents, friends, kids, and all this sort of thing.
You were put in party dresses that you didn't have any say about, and possibly a small bolero.
A bolero. Oh my God, I loved my bolero.
Laura.
I haven't said bolero since 1959.
No, but it was a strict time, and that was normal.
Yes.
But then now we're not strict at all.
No.
But do you talk to yourself, Jo? Just to ask.
I talk to myself, but you and I are both the same age. I can't believe we're the age we are.
I know, and I couldn't lie about it because it was on camera. I had to have my actual birthday on camera.
No, and that's a big birthday. This birthday, I've said to everybody, I didn't mind turning 60. This birthday, it's really affected me. I've written my will, Helen, for the first time this week.
Right. It's good to do.
Because I just thought, sorry, this has gone down a very morbid route.
Have you left your dog to anyone?
That was the most important part, my dog, who my dog was going to. Because I've got not a lot else, Helen, to leave. I spend what I earn. Why am I sitting here talking to you like I'm in the psychiatrist's chair?
People will see another side to us, a more sanguine, reflective side. This is the new side.
Every time I do this with you, I always think I must see her. I must see her.
I know.
No, but you're difficult to pin down. You're here, there, and literally everywhere. Oh, are you going into the West End?
Oh yes, I am going into the West End, and because there's all these people say about embargoes, so it is all happening. I will be in the West End with a wig on, in a not a Shakespearean play. Oh, please let me come back and tell you about
Am
that.
I allowed? Are we not allowed to give the production? Are we? We're
You
not
can't
allowed-
tell me when you're coming in, but it is farce, and it's an opportunity. And I thought, will I do it? Will I not do it?
you've
So I
got
just said
to.
yes,
And
I'm doing it.
are we allowed to tell everyone the show or not? Am I allowed to
Well,
say?
I think that because you have so many people listening, I might get told off. It's an excuse to come back, and I'll be lighter
Okay.
on my feet.
We have 5 million people listening, so maybe I won't say it.
But it is West End, and it is soon, and it will be like a grown-up acting job. But don't get jealous, Joe, because
No, I
look what
know.
you're doing with your 5 million people. They love you.
5 million. I don't think I could learn lines. I don't want to put you off. I truly,
You have.
mind you, in Crossroads, I never did. So.
How did you learn the lines?
They were written all over. Every time anyone picked up a cushion in the chalet, there were all of Sue Lloyd's scripts and Amy
Did you
Turtle's
feel like
ones.
you were letting other people down, though? This is the thing, because you're in a group. This is the whole group
Yes,
thing.
because
So my fear would be of letting other people down.
everyone are down. That's you won't. Also,
Well, you just don't know.
when people
But it
find
is
out what you're
exciting.
in, it'll be funny even if you do.
Yes.
You know Julian Clary. I was interviewing him on Monday, and he said something really interesting because I said to him, you have no fear, Julian. He said, you forget. He goes. You've seen him in Panto. He'll go on and go, now what's happening? He won't know.
Yes.
And he said, and you must remember this, Helen. He said,
Yeah.
people love it when it goes wrong, when they think you're about to go wrong, because they lean into you. And he went, it's the best thing you can do. So it's true.
Does that mean that he makes things go wrong on purpose?
No,
or-
I think he's reached an age like you and I where things go wrong because he can't remember.
No, absolutely. No, that's an encouraging thing. And I think that's an equivalent. Julian's possible comment there is an equivalent to me going, I can't believe them. I'm actually enjoying myself so much.
Exactly.
Going around with my book and then just not knowing how it's going to be and then going off on something and then not thinking I'm upsetting that person in the back row.
Exactly.
Or somebody's going to tell me off because I said a mean thing.
No, because you've said in this interview, what's the worst that can happen? It's already happened. So many
it has.
bad things have happened to you and I. It's like, bring it on. What else can happen,
Accidents.
No one's going to
Maybe-
die.
Will you ever, because I know you're chained to your studio there, but would you ever come and do a show with me again, like in real life, in a theatre?
Oh, I loved that.
Are you allowed
loved
to,
it.
or are you on every night?
No, I'm not on every night. I'm on Friday and Saturdays. I used to
so I might
love.
lure you out.
I remember meeting you. Where was it? We met some obscure place. And was
We
it,
had to do flyering
we
in
had
the
to,
streets.
oh my
Crouch
God,
End.
Crouch End. They're still talking about it. There's still
no
posters up.
one
Listen, we've got to move on. Can I just say, excuse me, that Pilgrimage is on BBC
20th of April.
on BBC Two 20th April. It starts. And can I also say, Not That I'm Bitter is out now in paperback.
You can order it. Oh God, that sounds like this is.
No, you can order it. Please order it.
Tea towel seller on your program.
No, because people in Keswick and people like that and places like that can't immediately run out tomorrow. So you can order it online. Not That I'm Bitter. And also, if you want to find out what Helen is getting up to in the West End, follow her on Instagram, which is Helen Lederer, I think it is, because she'll post it there.
That was a good guess, but it's correct as well.
Will you send my love to your family?
Oh, I love you and your dog, and let's keep writing our wills. We could put each other in our wills next.
Can you imagine?
It's an act of friendship.
You could be my executor?